Alright folks, your car guy here. Today we have a 2004 Jeep Liberty. Air conditioning is not working. So gonna teach you a couple of things real quick and do a couple of quick checks and we can see what's going on with the air conditioning. We can see based on the build, this would be a 2004-2005 Jeep Liberty with the V6. First test we normally want to do is start the vehicle and see that we have electrical power and the systems are blowing. So if we look here, with it set to air conditioning, blowing out, full cold, notice we do have a light indicating that we have power, at least to the computer, to try to command the air conditioning on. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but it would command it. Now, it's commanding the air conditioning on. We're going to go out here and take a look and see if we have a compressor running. Now the way you're going to tell if your compressor is running is right here at the front. This part of the compressor is the clutch. If that part is not turning, the compressor is not on. We notice the belt is turning around it, but the compressor has not engaged. Now there's several different things that will stop that from doing that. If we look here, this is the air conditioning high pressure switch. If it's got too high of pressure, it'll shut off the compressor. Then we also have an air conditioning low pressure switch. On the low side, if the pressure is too low, that can shut it off. Sometimes you'll have a freeze switch that may cause it. Now in this case, I see that the compressor is not coming on. First thing I want to do is check, do I have adequate pressure to turn it on? These pressure switches quite often will be set up to where it will not allow the AC compressor to come on. I say quite often, but they're set up if there's not enough AC in refrigerant in the system. So when we hook up our gauges and look, with the gauges hooked up, we have right about 7 psi in the system. Now, 7 psi in the system is not enough to start the compressor. So it tells me that this system has been discharged. It means it's got a leak somewhere. The next step would be to look for the leak and see if we can identify where it is. Now, if this system had an adequate amount of pressure, you can look at your gauges here. And you'll see today's about a 70-degree day. If I was at 70 on the gauge here, 70 psi would be about 70 degrees. So ambient air temperature would tell me, if I was at 70 psi, what my R134 should read at. Even without the compressor running, that would tell me that I have a charge, without having to go in and suck the system down, vacuum it out, and recharge it. It's one of the biggest mistakes that everybody makes when they first start working on air conditioning, is they want to immediately vacuum the system out and try to find how much AC refrigerant's in it, because they think, well, it might be low, might not be low, but you're really wasting a lot of time if it's already got a refrigerant in it. In this case, we know that we are low on refrigerant. There will be basically no refrigerant in this system. One of the telltale signs of a leak, as you look around, you want to look at all your fittings and look for any collection of oily residue and dirt, because the AC refrigerant carries oil with it to keep the system functioning properly. So you follow your lines, you look down, you'll look across your condenser, look for a rub spot or a hole to see if you can see anything that may have caused the refrigerant to leak. Now, it's also my experience that one of the places that refrigerant can leak is also right through the Schrader valves, where you would hook up your gauges, or if you have an air conditioning machine, it's where you would hook up your machine. So many cases I've seen where somebody's done a pressure test on the system, can't find a leak, they charge it, they put it back out on the road. A few days later, the AC quits working and it's low, and they're going, well, where's it going? They'll put dye in the system, different things you can do to try to find it, and it'll be leaking right out the Schrader valve. So it's important to make sure you keep your caps on there. The caps usually have a rubber seal in them to help seal up if your Schrader valve inside there does begin to leak. In this case, I don't see any obvious leaks. The next step would be to do a nitrogen test and look for leaks. But there you go. It's just a little bit of basics on diagnostics for AC. Always remember, check your pressures. Don't just automatically say, hey, let's suck it all out and see what's in there. Check and see where the pressures are. In this case, yep, it's empty. If I charge it, I'll be just blowing AC out into the atmosphere right now through wherever it is leaking. So I need to find the leak. That's your car guy, and stay tuned for more videos.